And now, in studio, bringing his Midwest values from the Show Me State to the land of San Diego. He's a triple threat, licensed as an attorney, mortgage broker, and a top producing realtor who's crushing the competition. Here to deliver you what's happening in the trenches of the market. Your host, Michael Gaddis.
Welcome back to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170 The Answer. I am your host, Michael Gaddis of FrontierLoanGroup.com. And before we continue our discussion with Leslie Hoffman at Poway Senior Center, I want to remind everybody that I have a reverse mortgage workshop this coming Thursday, January 19th, at Mangia Italiano on 3rd. That's in Chula Vista. It's 248 3rd Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. That is January 19th at Mangia Italiano on 3rd, 248 3rd Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. Anyone who's interested, please RSVP by visiting my website at FrontierLoanGroup.com. That's FrontierLoanGroup.com. So now we continue our conversation with Leslie Hoffman at Poway Senior Center. And Leslie, you know, one of the things I think that you alluded to is donations, and how you are a nonprofit agency, and how even the smallest donation can make a big difference in a senior's life. Isn't that correct?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we our meals that we provide, again, everything is donation based. $5 provides a meal, and we serve 10,000 meals a year. We serve 5,000 to the homebound, and we serve 5,000 in-house. We have volunteers that take the meals out, and oftentimes that's the only contact that senior has at all, is the volunteer that visited them that day to drop off their meal because they cannot get out of their house. And that's very important to us. But it's all donation basis. So oftentimes we don't receive money. We don't even ask for money. And but we're happy to provide the meal. But without people donating to us and supporting us, then that program can fail. And providing all the other activities we have, it can fail. And one of the things that we've come across is people just don't realize that a senior center is a good place to donate to. We look at all the different areas that we place our donations towards, but we forget where we came from. We forget our seniors. We forget that without them we wouldn't even be here. Without the generation before us, or the generation before the generation before the generation, and believe me, we have that many generations that still come to the senior center. Without them, we wouldn't even be here. And so to donate to an organization that serves those who served us, that provides to those who provided for us, is an incredible gift. And it's heartwarming. And we also invite you to come in. You know, during our lunch program, anyone can come in and have lunch. It's $6 for the best lunch you'll ever have. Again, the seniors, it's donation basis and free. But if you want to bring your parent in, or you just want to come in and see what we're about, come have lunch with us one day.
Well, I think everyone out there needs to just kind of really understand what she was just saying, which is basically, you know, we write our checks for donations every year, and we go. There's a lot of good places to put your money. I mean, sometimes one is not necessarily better than another, but I think what Leslie is saying is don't forget about seniors, because that is, you know, these are the people that took care of our country, that took care of us when we were young, and someday we're going to be there too, and we need to appreciate that life is a cycle, and that, you know, even the smallest amount of smallest donation can make a big difference in a senior's life. And you know, and I think if you haven't been around a lot of seniors, if you haven't seen, you know, how some of them live and what the needs they have, you might not appreciate exactly what, you know, Leslie Hoffman and the Poway Senior Center offers, because it's powerful what they offer. What they offer seniors is extremely powerful. They give them hope. They give them a sense of purpose. There's so much that they do, and you know, they do need donations to survive. It's not something that, you know, that they can survive without having an influx of money. So, you know, I just would strongly encourage you to keep that in mind when it's time for you to make your charitable donations, to think, hey, what about the senior center? What about Leslie Hoffman? You know, we heard her talking on the radio, and you know, she seems to have a pretty good place. And as I said, it doesn't even have to be a huge one. It just is, every little bit counts, and it can really make a difference in someone's life. And and as we were talking about in the previous segment, they are having an event coming up on March 18th, Pets in the Park. It's at Poway Park, and they're going to try to raise some money for the senior center there, and it's going to be a fun event with pets. So put that on your calendar and maybe stop by and see. Now, Leslie, is this in the Poway Park where they have the train, or is it?
Yes, it's Old Poway Park, and the train's there, and that's supposed to be running. So there's a train rides, and there's the farmer's market next door that you can actually visit as well. It's not part of our event, but it's something to go and enjoy as well. We're going to have food. There's going to be pet games and pet contests, and it's going to be a fun day.
And if you've never been to that park, you should go just to go to the park itself, because it's a neat little park. We have this train that drives around the park, and in fact, I'll just to be honest with you, my wife and I, we did some pictures. Every year we take some pictures of our family. We went to Old Poway Park and had our professional pictures taken in Old Poway Park because it's so scenic and so beautiful. Such a great setting for an event like this. So, I think everyone should mark March 18th on their calendars, because it will be a big event for the Poway Senior Center. So Leslie, so how many members do you think you have at the Senior Center right now?
Right now we have about 350 actually paid members.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they don't have to be a member, but they just choose to. And anybody can be a member. You don't have to be a senior to be a member of the Senior Center. You just $35 a year, and it's just your way of saying, I appreciate you. We also have what are called business associate members, that they can pay $100 or $200 a year, and you're in our newsletter. You receive, if it's a $200 level, you can add in the newsletter. We also advertise other places for you. You're on our website, and you can come in and you can do a seminar for seniors that's senior based. We have a lot of different businesses that come in, and they do like reverse mortgage. They talk about Medicare. They talk about hearing aids. And so that's a way that we bring in donations as well through businesses that come in through that. We have, the County of San Diego does provide funding, partial, but not full funding, but partial funding for the nutrition program. It doesn't nowhere near cover the cost, but it does cover part of it, and that's very much appreciative on our part. We appreciate that. But we have a gentleman that walks in. I won't say his name because he wants to stay very anonymous, but he literally walks in about 3 or 4 times a year, and he just slips a check to the receptionist, who's a volunteer, because we live off volunteers, and it'll be for $1,000.
Oh, wow.
And he doesn't want to thank you. He just slips it quietly.
Right.
And then there's others that during lunch, they'll put an extra $5 in the lunch box that day, just because they don't have to, but they just want to put an extra $5 in lunch, the till for them.
Right.
People donate in amazing ways. I had a gentleman donate some art recently that we're going to have appraised, and then we'll end up selling it. But they just needed a tax write-off, and they wanted to get rid of this art, and they thought, you know what, let's give it to the senior center. And we'll probably end up getting a few $1,000s off of that.
Right.
So we welcome anything. We welcome 5 cents. We have a wishing well campaign that we do once a year, that we actually have a wishing well out that people can drop money in, or they send us a check and it's designated, and they can say either just it's generally, or we want it to be specific to activities or the nutrition program. Or we bought a ping pong table through Wishing Well, because our ping pong table literally was kept together with duct tape. So during the Wishing Well campaign, we were able to get a ping pong table, and then Lowe's and Poway adopted us this past fall, and their employees came out and put the ping pong table together.
Oh, wow.
And they brought us all new furniture for our patio, and a new furniture for our lobby.
Well, here's a question I probably should have asked you from the beginning, and just a reminder, you're listening to the Michael Gaddis Show on AM 1170, The Answer. I'm your host, Michael Gaddis of FrontierLoanGroup.com, and we're talking to Leslie Hoffman of the Poway Senior Center. where is your senior center physically located? Where I should have asked that in the first segment, but where is it physically located?
You know, actually, that's kind of funny because people, if you try to find us on your phone, it'll take you who knows where. So we're in the Poway Community Park, and we are actually the largest building in the park. So when you look on the outside of the main building, it's called the Weingart Center because they donated funds 30, 40 years ago to build it. But we're the biggest building in Poway Community Park. So you pass the fight, you go past the sheriff's station, you pass the skate park, pull into the big parking lot, and there we are.
Wow. And I'm glad I asked the question then. So the address is actually what?
I
just stumped you.
13094 Civic Center Drive.
Oh, I put you on the spot there, huh? How about that? I had a deer in the headlights there for a second there.
You did, yeah, 13094 Civic Center Drive.
Well, I want to thank Leslie Hoffman of the Poway Senior Center for coming in today. So for anybody interested in making a donation or visiting the center, which I strongly encourage that you do, you can go to poway.seniorcenter.org. That's poway.seniorcenter.org. And you can find the phone number. You can call Leslie up and talk to her. Tell her you heard her on the Michael Gaddis show, and she'll be glad to talk to you. So thank you for coming in today, Leslie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you all for listening to the Michael Gaddis show. Again, I'll be back here next Monday night at 7 p.m. to talk about anything and everything related to real estate. And just a reminder that I do have my reverse mortgage workshop going on at Mangia Italiano on 3rd in Chula Vista. It's 248 3rd Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. this Thursday, January 19th. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next Monday.